Hi, Casey Woodfin, associate broker with Shaheen, Ruth, Martin, and Fonville Real Estate. I've got Ellie Mae in the background today. I wanted to talk to you guys about estate sales. I get asked this a lot. I do a lot of estate sale work. And so you really want to, if you are going to inherit property at some point, understand that you need a few people in your arsenal. Your estate attorney, a really good one, either one that has prepared the will for the person that you'll be inheriting the property from, but that's huge. A really good real estate agent that knows how to handle estate sales. A CPA, because you're going to deal with capital gains. And then all the parties involved, like all the heirs, all the people that are going to be inheriting this with you if it's other people. And it's really important. Now, if you're having this discussion with the family member, like if it's a parent, an aging parent, it's a really uncomfortable conversation, but it's a really important one, because if they have a will, you need to know where it is. You need to know where the original is. That is huge. Original copy. Original, okay, guys? You need to know what their intentions are. If there's multiple people involved in receiving this inheritance, I think that's a really great conversation. I think that'll avoid a lot of upsetting conversations after the fact. If you can prepare it up front, you can avoid probate. So otherwise probate you can't avoid. But if up front you can have all the assets titled and transferred upon death, okay? And when that is done, then you don't have to go through the probate process. If you do go through the probate process, you need the original will so they can validate it. They can appoint the executor if it's not spelled out in the will, and then work on distributing assets. They have to go through probate court, and so that can take 6 months, 8 months, a year. I haven't really seen it in under 6 months, but it depends on how many assets that individual had. I've seen where that individual was donating a lot to a specific charity, and during that process, the charity can have some sort of say-so in where those assets go. So really important to know those things up front, but if you don't, you're gonna have to go through probate. So at least if you are wondering, make sure that you have a copy of that original will. Hiring a real estate agent, if there's real estate involved, that knows how to deal with estates is really important too. I have seen where people have tried to market a property and sell it, and they get a buyer, but they haven't gone through probate. And so what a waste of time to the seller and the buyer, because you can't actually transfer the property yet. And, you know, unless it's a fabulous property, and maybe in this market, I don't know, but most buyers aren't going to wait 6 months to a year. They want to move in, you know, they're ready to buy it. So hiring someone that is... All right, well, my guard dog got the UPS guy, so... Right, Ellie Mae? All right. Okay, so hiring someone that is well-versed in estates will save you some headache. I mean, when you're dealing with this entire process, I think, you know, having someone really empathetic, patient, because it's extremely stressful. I mean, you're dealing with the banks who, for some reason, our banking industry acts like they've never dealt with a deceased person's assets before. It is like an act of God to get access to their accounts without all of this paperwork. And it's extremely frustrating. Oh, by the way, you're probably working a full-time job dealing with all of this stress. So, you know, dealing with someone that has the experience with estates, it just makes it a little bit easier. And then getting a really good CPA. So you do have to pay taxes on the inherited property. It depends if you move into it as your primary residence and live in it for 2 years out of 5, you can avoid capital gains. But if you're splitting those assets, or you're not able to buy someone out, or you don't want to live there, then you will have to pay capital gains. And it just depends. So the little loophole that I'm aware of, and again, not a CPA, but it's going to be based on the value of the date of inheritance to the value of the date that it's sold. So your agent, I do this all the time for my clients, provide a market analysis for the date of inheritance to the date of course it's sold, because I'm the agent usually that has sold the property. It can get a little dicey and a little hairy. So, having all of these people helping you is super important. And I can promise you, when you're in that situation, you just need someone that is going to be understanding, listening to you, and helping you walk through it. That doesn't look like a deer in headlights when you say the word probate or payable on death. You need to have someone that knows exactly what's going on and has had that experience before. But post any questions, like and follow if this is helpful to you. And for me and Ellie Mae, have a good day. Okay, so I also get this question a lot. If someone dies and there's no will, and again, guys, I am not an attorney. But if there's no will, it's called dying intestate, meaning unless there's, like, let's say that they didn't have a will, but there's a spouse, in that state, in our state in Virginia, it goes to the spouse. And then it'll go down, if there's children involved. But if there's no will and there's no really direct, bloodline, family, distant relatives, it does go it goes to the courts or the county, the city, the municipality where the person passed away. And then it's up to the court to distribute those assets. It still has to go through probate. It still has to go through this whole process. I get those referrals a lot from attorneys. And then those assets are just distributed based on if there's a list of heirs. So your name could be on a list of heirs, great uncle or whoever. And then you could get a portion of those. And again, it's still taxable, right? But if there's no will, that's kind of the process too. It's called intestate. And I think it's so important to have a will, but a lot of people just can't afford to do one, or they weren't expecting to pass away. So that is how that works. That can take years, to be honest, because by the time it gets to the city or county and the attorney, you're in a stack this high, and then they just work through it. So I hope this helps you guys, and I hope you have a great day.